You know what that means. Park Series number 7. Let's go. So, welcome to a brand new park series. Welcome to Wilderview Mews. Now, you guys did vote for a series to be based off an existing park map, and this is one that I've chosen. This is Untamed Wilderness 2 by Acid. It is on the workshop if you do want to play along. I'll stick a link in the description, and it's a beautiful, beautiful park map. I'm going to talk you through everything that we've got, and also my plan for the park, because this is such a versatile map to use. You have these 3 beautiful lakes that are going to give some brilliant, brilliant views of coasters and rides and shops and stuff along here. It's going to give you Busch Gardens, Williamsburg kind of vibes with the way that we're going to be able to use water. And think of the coasters you're going to be able to put on here. I think they're going to be big. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to give you any clues other than that. The terrain on here is also really, really good. But I can almost feel the memes coming straight away of, oh, Jojo gets given a terrain park and then flattens the crap out of it. It's going to happen. Both the memes and the terrain flattening. Let's deal with that now. I mean, it's called Untamed Wilderness. You've got to tame the wilderness, right? That's what I'm going for. So you've also got this mass expanse. This is going to be a sprawling park. It's not going to be packed in like Chacholandia was or Grosvenor Gardens was, whatever. It's going to be a sprawling park that's going to have a few rides dotted around, but it's going to be cleverly put together. Think along the lines of DollyWood and Hershey Park, that kind of setup, that kind of feeling, that kind of vibe. And it's on the Alpine map as well, so it has the same feel as Reigate Lake, but it's going to be obviously very, very different. I mean, Acid has done such an amazing job with this park file. I can't say it enough. And as I said, I've played this in many configurations. For this park, I've put the spawn point down here, but actually I've had it up here before, I've had it over here, and I've had it down the bottom here as well. And you get a different park every single time, so I've never put it here. So I love it. So this is what I'm going for. This is sort of like the map from the top down. As I say, the main terrain changes around the back here. This area here lends itself quite nicely to car parks and to facilities and services and whatnot. And then you do have this space at the top here that could be used for an overflow car park if it's needed. So that's going to come in later episodes anyway. For now, I'm just sort of placing out where I want things. And then we come down to the main bulk of this. So don't get excited about the coasters that are living here. They might not be the same. They might not even be here, but I'm just getting a feel for what I want where. But this is where we're focusing our attentions on. So we are, of course, going to have tickets, and this is going to be in this building here. We'll have turnstiles in this building here. There's going to be a Chacho toilet. Of course there is, and that's going to be here. Gift shop is going to be here. Food unit is going to be here. And I don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be something outward facing, but I don't know. Now, what I'm thinking is that I need to flatten this area here to create a bit of a plateau, but the car park is going to be lower down. Obviously, we need to work with the terrain that we've got. So I do want this idea of having a path that comes up this way and comes into a plaza area here. Or it might also then come down this way. There may even be a bus that takes you to the top here for those of our guests that can't make it to the top, you know, like those that can't walk or wheelchair users, etc. You need some kind of assisted travel from the car park. So I need to find out what that's going to be. I also have this idea as well for a bit of a plaza area by the toilets here, and having some kind of foliage or whatever here, and then having a feature area of a coaster turning around or doing something in this area. Something that's going to be a bit of a gatekeeper style interaction with a coaster. That's what I'm going for. But I don't know what that's going to look like yet, and it won't be this episode that I decide that. But I also want to put in some kind of backstage area in this area as well, and I also need some kind of backstage area in this area. But the other thing, so excited about this, guys. This terrain is going to lend itself to actually using cable cars, and I've never had the opportunity to use them in game because I've never had a park that's big enough. But this is because this is a sprawling park. It's going to be good. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have some kind of sky ride or cable cars or whatever. They're going to go from here up to this part here, and what I want is it to raise up and then stay flat and then come in flat here. That's kind of what I'm going for. And then you'll see what's going to come at the back here. I've got plans, you guys. Right, I'm going to carry on building because, unfortunately, I'm one of those creators that prefers to build off-screen. I'll explain why later. I'll see you in a minute. I mean, as you can see, quite a lot has changed. I am definitely not the creator that's going to create good time lapses. I am not considerate with my camera. I change everything constantly. I delete stuff after I've built it. Basically, every single episode takes about 60 hours a week to film, and a lot of it is just going to get chopped out and just going to get deleted. I flip between reference images. I basically prefer to build without the pressure of being watched, and this is why I do everything off camera, and this is what I have achieved. So, guys, I'm sorry that I don't do time lapses, but that's the reason why. So, this is what I've got. American fans, you will be recognising what you see in front of you as Hershey Park. Now, yes, there is quite a lot of reference in Hershey Park going on in this, particularly with this gatehouse. Not gonna lie, I ripped that from Hershey Park. Bruh. Here in the UK, we have an architecture style that's after Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the famous railway person, and this is mostly his architecture style. It's very steampunk in appearance, and it's very white and brown brick. If you go to towns like Swindon in the UK, you will see this architecture everywhere. The architecture itself is beautiful. Let's just leave it at that. So let's have a look around. So here we've got our ticket office. It's your usual ticket office. It's exactly what you'd expect from a Chacho ticket office, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, these are the lights. So they are going to be lit up at night, but I like the font as well. I use obviously these in Shorehaven Pier, and I've used them before in other builds and whatever. So I love how they light up, and it's just the fonts that I love. And then inside the actual ticket office itself, you have your usual style. So we've got all the computers and everything. In fact, I'll come through this way. There we go. You can see it from the other side. So we've got all of the computers, all of the desks and everything, waiting for people to greet people to buy tickets. People and people and people. Say people some more. But this is this railway style that we've got. Everything was always bricks and always arches. Isambard Kingdom Brunel had a big deal or a big thing about arches. So like if you look at any bridge that he's ever built, most of them are archways. And that's because arches are the strongest structure to build in building, right? So Isambard Kingdom Brunel used to absolutely love it. So you'll find all of this, but I've used black arches on this one and then white on the rest because I quite like the Hershey Park style. Right now, they're not the first people to do that style. I'm just throwing it out there. And then we do have the gate. Talking of, like, whilst we're on the subject of stealing something from Hershey Park. Oh, why is that white? That should be black. In fact, why is that all white? Anyway, doesn't matter. That needs to be black. So I have stolen this gate from Hershey Park because I loved the style. I love the design. It's really simple. It does what it needs to do, and it's quite elegant. And it's modern as well. But it's modern and fits into that whole steampunk vibe. So yes, this is what we're going here. There is going to be a sign. It's not probably going to be ready for this episode because it's not me doing the sign. I think you can probably guess who's doing the sign. So you know it's worth the wait. So yeah, there is going to be a sign. But this is what I've set up for the turnstiles then. So you've got your typical turnstiles there, and you've got the fences in between just to fix them. And then you do have your disabled entrance in the middle here. Now these would be what they call collapsible turnstiles. So they actually they collapse at the end of the day, right? So you can just let people out, and then they would also open these gates and let people out. So you're not actually causing a bottleneck at the turnstiles to allow people to exit. So we're good to go. We are good to go. And then we've got toilets. Now this, I had to do a little bit of reconfiguration. I don't know whether the eagle-eyed amongst you will have spotted that they are actually wider or longer than they were originally. And that's because I had just set it up to be 2 toilets, and then it was going to be male and female. But actually, I wanted them to sit either side of the park boundary, and that didn't work. So what I've ended up doing is splitting each of the sections into 2 further compartments and 2 further sections. Oh, what's happened here? I've loaded this save game, and there's a lot of stuff that seems to be not right, and I need to sort of try and find out what on earth has gone on. Anyway, there's not what here for you to see. So I split this into 2. So you would have a male toilet and a female toilet split into 2. And then you would have... Oh, look at the state of this toilet. That's disgusting. You have one that comes in an L shape here, and then one that's a square here. That's what I've done here. And then I've also got the toilets itself. The cubicles are all set up as you would expect, with the disabled toilet in each of the one. And then, of course, to make it functional, you do have actual toilets that are over here, right? So continuing that steampunk vibe. So this is what it would look like from the outside. I am going to put barriers and stuff here to stop people from walking through. Of course, that's going to be the case. But this is what I wanted. This area here to be like a plaza area, and this area here to also be a plaza area. Kind of a little bit like Alton Towers is. And then this bit would have foliage and whatever. So in terms of car park, I just wanted to point this out. This is just a placeholder. I haven't actually committed to this being the car park, but unfortunately, this is the nature of the type of work that we have to do. You do have to flatten a really big area of land, and yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. But this car park does need to be bigger. Blah 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 blah. You know how I do my parks. This is going to be one of the last episodes that we do, so that's going to be there for a while. So we come down to guest services. This is quite a finished part of the building. You know I always do guest services when it comes to my parks. So there we go, walking here. I wanted it to be very blue and wood. So where's he going? I wanted it to be very blue and wood. And this is also where you would find all of your annual passes and stuff. And you would get your hotel reservations if you've got a hotel. And then you can get your strollers and your disabled bands and all of that sort of stuff. So this is all in here. It's all kitted out as you would expect. Just needs a few promo videos and stuff on the screens. And then, of course, it's ceiling. So where the pink is, you'll see that this is the ceiling. I am in two minds as to whether I'm going to bother to do the back end here. So this is a temporary wall that I just put in. This was the original wall that I did. But I'm in two minds as to whether I'm going to bother to do the back part of this, because you guys don't really ever pick up on the fact that I do the office spaces. I need to play it out. I need to see how I feel, to see how time and everything goes along. I mean, it feels like the park would be incomplete if I didn't do it right, so I probably will. This is the gift shop. This is how the guest services looks from the outside, by the way. This is probably the most completed external part of the building. And again, this is this railway feature. This is very, very prominent of Isambard Kingdom Brunel's steampunk style architecture, but yes, you're going to recognise it from Hershey Park because it's a very similar style. Like I say, they didn't do it first. But I love how this looks, and it's going to look amazing when we've got all the brick and stuff in here. This park is a mess. Look at the state of this, by the way. This is disgusting. This is what happens when you try and build a park without janitors. And then you've got this area here. So this is the gift shop. I am liking how this is turning out, actually. So these walls, by the way, they are available as TMTK on the workshop. You can search for steampunk, and there's an entire collection of about 250 items. It's an amazing collection. It's so awesome. And this is the sort of thing, this is the sort of effect that you can get. So this is just me toying with the actual look and feel of a gift shop, and then of course this is how it's all put together on the outside, on the periphery. So I just need to finish all of that, and then on the inside, there we go. You will not be surprised to see all of the pet shop. I was going to say, what is wrong with me, guys? I'm just going to let you know this is the hottest day that the UK has ever seen. So you're lucky that I'm even talking, because it has been ridiculous. So forgive the fact that I just don't know what words to use. In fact, you guys are probably sitting there thinking that's no change. You know, what's new. So anyway, you'll see all of the gift shop stuff that I've used in the past, but what I'm doing now is I'm starting to actually decorate the gift shop itself with a bit of style, putting a bit of effort into this as opposed to it just being a room of shelves and stuff. So that's what I'm doing here. And then over here, I just need to kit out all of these. Again, very, very Hershey Park on the inside, because it's all of this exposed brick and stuff, right? So, and I liked, by the way, in the Hershey Park one, how they had the white brick and the brown brick together. So I sort of thought, yeah, I'm going to steal that. Why not? We went an entire series robbing from something else, so why not, why not just carry on with that? And then we're going to come over this way, and we do have food stalls. Now, again, this is a Hershey Park inspired thing. I love the, is it the Founder's Kitchen, I think it's called? I just love how that looks from the outside. So this is what I've done. I've continued that steampunk vibe, and I've got all of the pillars and stuff along here, but I've also put these pillars in here. I can't wait for rides to be open, because look at the state of this. This is a mess. Look at all these people. It's fine. So I just need to do all of the fine details and stuff in here, just to make it appear as it should, and then I just need to put a name and whatever on here. But this is how it's looking from the top. So I quite like how this area is turning out. I've started to line off the plaza area along here, and the general idea is that the beginning of the day, you need a little bit of space to form queues at the turnstiles. So the queue would probably come around the back here and then leave this area for the tickets completely open and completely accessible and stuff. So I've decided not to put a shop here. I've actually decided just to put a fence in, and this will be some kind of a backstage area. This coaster needs lowering, and this one obviously needs lowering as well and finishing. So this episode, I'm just going to focus on finishing what I've started in this area and put all the bricks down and stuff in the plaza. So off I go, off camera again. See you in a minute. Alright then, you guys, real quick roll call. Have you done your bit for the algorithm yet? Have you liked and commented on the video? And I mean, come on. All of those crappy camera angles and stuttery commentary has got to be worth something, right? You know it already helps the channel, and thank you already if you have. And look, Wilderview Mews has got an entrance area, and I'm chuffed with how this is turning out. It's like the perfect mix of Drayton Manor and Hershey Park and steampunk and British Railway and all sorts. I love it. It's like so good. And I had a real rush of inspiration for a future episode coming through here, so don't get attached to the cable cars and stuff being in this area. They are going to move. That's why I've not done them in this episode. I need to utilize this hill more rather than relying on flat land. So future me is a problem. It's fine. So here we go. Here's the turnstile area. So it's nice and simple, nice and elegant. It doesn't really need to have much more than this. They are just taking tickets and be done with it. I mean, it's modern industrialism at its best, right? And well, it's copycat from Hershey Park, but let's be honest. Placeholder sign up here then. Can't wait for Spike Sign to come through in a future episode. That's going to look amazing in the sightline here. It's going to look so good. Ticket offices then. It's had a lot of touching up going on. I mean, we've now got trims and stuff. It's the graphics are making this trim disappear. So it is there. Look, I promise it's there. And then we've got trimmers along the roof, and of course we've now got an actual roof. I've just put some queue lines and whatever in here because it was missing that. This area felt really open and exposed, and it needed to be enclosed a little bit, so that's what I've done. And I've actually fallen in love with the roller coaster on this sightline here. I need to think this one through because I think I want to keep that there and keep it going. So ticket office at itself. Done quite a bit of work in this one. We have got touching up, we've got blinds that have been placed, we've got stuff that's going on in the background, you know, all the usual clutter that you'd find in my entrance areas. Tidied up a lot of the stuff that was along here. Some of it wasn't aligned properly, so I mean, you probably wouldn't have noticed it in the last update, but it's now a lot tidier. Fussy, if you're watching, I could deal with some pricing. Just saying. Outsource everything. And then this is the inside here. So again, it's just your typical ticket office. I've not put staff and stuff in this one, partly because I don't like the scale of them. They're bigger than the people are. They're like bigger than the normal guests, so I'm just using them sparingly rather than throughout. But anyway, this is the inside, and yes, I have done the back end here as well. So this is like a real office space, a loose office space. It's roughly based on one of the offices that I used to work in at Merlin. So yes, this is realistic enough for me to go, it's an office. This wouldn't be a big open office, if that makes sense. It would just be a room of computers and a bit of a filing cabinet system and storage and whatever. This is all this would be. So out in the main plaza, I have just done some kitting out with some foliage and some plants and some planters and stuff. So if you remember back to the previous update, I said about the split that you would have between the ticket purchasing and the queues to get in the turnstiles. This is to sort of almost force that. So you would have your queues that would come around this way, and then it leaves this area free and a bit more obviously free for that kind of thing. And this is how it's looking from this side then. So this is the approach that you would see. Of course, you'd see tickets first, and then you'd have turnstiles. So it's all about the guest throughput, it's all about the guest flow and the order in which guests would need to do things. So I have also just started the work on this bit. I mean, this is going to overlook the car park eventually, but this needs a lot more work and a lot more thought, and of course you know that that's going to be a future episode, probably towards the end of the series. Here's the toilets then. I love how these turned out. They just turned out so much better than my original thought process and plans were. So yeah, these are just this just kitted out with, again, this industrial feeling, and then you've got the men and women signs there. So we go into this one, and then you just have your usual toilets on here. So I like it. I really, really like it. And then it's just exactly the same the other side as well, just in mirror image, in mirror reverse. It's still so hot here, guys. My brain is just not working. It hasn't been all day, and it's like midnight here, so it's been a long one. Anyway, these are the toilets from the inside. So I do need to do a little bit of work in here. There's just a few things that I'm not entirely happy with, but I do need to finish the extra inspiration bit for that to happen in here, because there's a few design things that I want to bring in and I want to use in the toilets. So I'm just going to keep it like that for now. And then this is how it looks from the outside. And I've just put some, again, industrial sort of railway Isambard Kingdom Brunel style stuff that's in here. Guest services is also done. I love how this sits on the sight line. It's just so flush, so clean, so modern. And then you walk in here, and there you go. You just have guest services just waiting for you, and it's all kitted out nicely as guest services. There's a staff building behind here, by the way. That's why these guys are walking through. But otherwise, there's now barriers and stuff in place to stop guests and stuff walking through here. So yeah, I've just put in a load of stuff on the video screens just to make it look like it's an actual office. So this would be, as I said, where you get your annual passes and hotel reservations and fast track and stuff. So love it. And then of course you've got your gift shop. So this is now how the gift shop looks. Again, it just looks brilliant. I've taken a design decision to double up this wall. It felt like it needed to have some kind of double painting going on, so that's what I've done. But I like how this frontage looks, and especially with like the lights and stuff that come from the spooky pack. I think it just finishes it off quite nicely. And then I've intentionally left this wall blank and this wall blank. Sometimes you do need dead space in an actual design for it to all come together, and you tend to find this quite a lot in Victorian style railway stations as well, especially here in the UK. You get a lot of blank space and a lot of brickwork. So I can't change the colour of the bricks, by the way. They come in brown, so it is what it is. That's why inside here it's mostly brown. But we've also got some flooring going on. I did decide, by the way, to remove the flooring I had in here. I had an idea, but it just didn't work out. It just looked rubbish, so I just kept it as it is. Kept lots of exposed brick going on, and then all of the gift shop stuff in here. It just looks like a gift shop. And again, I have sort of stopped doing some design work in here because of what's coming in a future episode when I go up the hill. So I have sort of just left this as it is. It's like tomorrow me's problem. And then this is looking back at the turnstiles. So this is how it looks from the reverse image, as if you were exiting. It looks cool, I think. And then we come to the food unit. I've decided to call it Copycats because it's pretty obvious, right? So Copycats food and drink. It's just almost like a grab and go area. It wouldn't be a restaurant as such because it's at the front of the park. You want to sort of put your guests through the entrance of the park as quickly as possible. But yeah, this is the design that I've gone for. I've ended up doing some stone cladding on the side here. I liked how this looked. It was just completely accidental. I was playing with the different flooring mechanisms and the different ways that we could decorate the floor, and it just attached itself to the wall, and I was like, oh, this actually works. I quite like how this has turned out. So I ended up cladding the wall with the stone, and then having the front as plain, and then this side I don't know if I'm going to clad it or if I'm going to keep it plain, because I need to see what's going to come later on in an episode. Bit of a seating area outside here. These guys are obviously running into each other, running on the spot. It's exercise time in the prison. And then down here, just again, all of your usual gubbins that you find on a grab and go unit here. A couple of vending machines in case people don't want to queue, and then the guttering and stuff to catch the rain, and then the planter just to separate the main thoroughfare from the seating area, just to give it that idea. So in a future episode, I am actually going to work more with this hill. So I've decided I am going to take some cues from Hershey Park as such, and from Reigate Lake as well, and bring some of the shops up a hill, so make a bit of a bend in this bit, and then make a feature of this terrain that we've got here, because this is begging to be some kind of a viewing area with a coaster running past it and stuff. So and then access to a kids area or something along the lines back this end. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. But in the next episode, this is where we're going to be focusing our attentions. I need to do a service area here, and we also need to put this coaster in. Whether it's a Woody or not, I don't know yet. But we definitely need a coaster in this space. And I wanted to play with a little bit of history with the park this time. So I wanted to say that this is a coaster that would have been here when the park was originally built. And maybe the entrance for this was over here, and this wasn't actually at the entrance, and it's been moved since or something. So I need to think about the lore and the canon of the park and how it's going to work. But ultimately, we need to do a coaster in the next episode. So this is how it's looking from the top then. I like how this has turned out as it is. Like, again, it was one of those builds I didn't know how it's gonna go, but I like this. This park's got personality already, so it's cool. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this episode, guys. I really do appreciate you getting here. As you know, all of your likes and your comments and stuff really do help the channel. So until we speak again, I'll see you next week. Look after yourselves. Take care. Bye bye.